Guys. Okay, today's story is Mole and the Baby Bird. And because we have our reading test coming up tomorrow, I'm going to go over a couple things with you before I start reading. Okay, so today, when I'm done with the story, we're going to be able to say what the message of the story was, who the characters were, what the setting was, when and where it took place, so that's setting, and then what the events in the story were, the beginning, the middle, and the end. Don't worry, I'll do all the work. You just follow along. Okay, Mole and the Baby Bird. Mole found a baby bird. It had fallen out of its nest. Mole waited and waited, but no big bird came to help it. Okay, so this is Mole. His name is actually what he is. So Mole and then the little baby bird. Can you see? All right, so far we've been introduced to two characters. So Mole took the baby bird home. He made a nest for it. Look, he said to his mother. It's very, very hard to take care of a baby bird, she said. They usually die, said his dad. My bird won't die, said Mole. His friends helped him find food for the baby. So I can see some new characters. There's a rabbit and a raccoon and a bigger bird, right? Or is that the baby bird? No, that's the baby bird. We already met him. His mother showed him how to feed it. Mole fed it whenever it chirped, and the bird didn't die. It grew. So now we met Mom Mole, Mole, Baby Bird, and the friends. Lots of characters in this story. It's my pet bird, said Mole. It's not a pet bird, it's a wild bird, said his mother. The bird fluttered its wings. Your bird is trying to fly, said his mother. No, cried Mole. It mustn't fly. Do you guys know the difference between a pet and a wild animal? So pets are something we can keep for ourselves in our home or in a cage. A wild animal is something that you would find in nature. Mole found some wood and some nails. He borrowed his dad's toolbox. What are you making? Asked his dad. I'm making a cage for my pet bird, said Mole. It's not a pet bird, it's a wild bird, said his dad. You should let it fly. No, cried Mole. I think Mole and his parents disagree on what kind of bird this is, don't you? He put his bird into its new cage. The bird was sad. Mole's mother was sad too, but Mole kept his bird because he loved it. Then Granddad came to visit. He looked at Mole's pet bird. Presently, Granddad said, Let's go for a walk, little Mole. A new character. Granddad. Grandpa. Ooh, this is a good page. Granddad took Mole to the top of a high hill. Mole looked down at the trees far below. He felt the wild wind try to lift him. You see all the birds that are flying? Can you see them? There's lots. Whee! I'm flying, cried Mole. Nearly, said Granddad. When Mole got home, he looked at his bird. It was sitting very still in its cage in Mole's dark underground room. Birds are meant to fly, said Mole. He opened the cage door and he let his bird fly away because he loved it. Then he cried. The next day, Mole went into the forest. He saw his bird flying, soaring free, and Mole was glad. That was a good ending, huh? Okay, let's see. The message of the story. Well, usually an author will write a story for a reason, and in this case, Patrick Benson is the illustrator, but Marjorie Newman's the author. And Marjorie wanted to give us a message, and the message was, birds are meant to fly. So she wrote this story so that we could get that message. Birds are meant to fly. Even though we love them and want to keep them for ourselves, they're meant to fly, according to Marjorie Newman. Characters. Oh boy, can you remember them all? I can, but the two main ones were Mole and the baby bird. I know there was lots of extras, but these are what we call the main characters. The setting. So when? Well, it looks like it's daytime. And where? Well, it took place in a couple of places, but I kind of feel like they're out in the country where there's lots of space and not a lot of houses. So I would say that's the setting, out in the country. Events, the beginning, middle, and end. So at the beginning of the story, Mole found the baby bird, right? And he was so excited and he rescued it because it was all alone. In the middle, Mole built a cage because he loved the bird and he wanted it to live with him. At the end, after Mole went for a walk with Granddad, he realized that he should let the baby bird out and that it should be free. And it made Mole glad to see the bird so happy. Beginning, middle, and end. So those are the elements of the story, Mole and the Baby Bird. Thank you for listening.